I am with Jonathan and Helen today on an absolutely beautiful Fairline Squadron 42, and they've done quite a bit of work to this one. It's quite an interesting story and a very interesting boat. So we're going to meet them, have a chat about the boat, and have a chat about their boating history. So this is Jonathan and Helen. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi folks.
And Helen, I think you're going to show me around the boat, and we're going to talk first of all about the boat itself and what you've done to it, because you bought this boat fairly recently, I think.
Yes, we bought this boat about 4 weeks. I mean, this whole thing has happened in under 4 weeks, which
Wow.
is unbelievable, because it's been stripped and it's been redone, and now it looks the way that it looks now. So
Fantastic.
We're really excited about it.
Excellent. Well, let's have a walk through with you if we may, and if you can just show us the layout and also talk to us about what you've had done to it. So shall we start right out here at the back and work forward?
Yes. So I think the first thing which is really beautiful and unique about the 42 is that they've got this lovely seat at the back which you can flip over, and you can either look around the back or you can look towards the boat. And when it was originally done, it was very sort of flat, very practical, but not very beautiful. And I think that my background is design, and so it was very important to me that we had something that was really luxurious and felt like home, and somewhere that we really wanted to come along. And I think normally you have situations where you've got these beautiful big yachts, and if you're spending over 4 million, they're going to do all of the things that you want. But in these circumstances, you end up with the sort of standard boats, whereas we've used a company called Seatag, who have been amazing. They've done everything for us. It's a one-stop shop, so I haven't had to go one place to get this done, one place to get that done, and they've worked along with me, and they've created something that's stunning, I think you'll find.
Brilliant. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So this seat upholstery, I guess, then is the first thing to talk about, because this is very clearly not how it was when it came out of the Fairline yard, that's for sure.
No, it's not. And in fact, there's a wonderful video of before and after which they've done, and it shows you quite shockingly how it looked beforehand. And this was not a sort of a brand new 42 when we got it. It was a sort of a boat that needed some tender loving care, and so the before and after shots are fantastic, because it really tells the story beautifully of how you can make such a huge difference when you buy something that's second hand, maybe a bit tired, and then you put all of this beauty in it, and you create what effectively is a brand new boat.
Yeah, and a custom boat at that, because it's completely to your own standard, isn't it?
Completely to our own liking, our own standard. Everything or anything that we wanted within it, we achieved with Seatag, and created actually the perfect boat for us. So, and I think, you know, sometimes it can be prohibitive, because if you want to go for a bigger boat, you've got to spend, you know, £2-3 million to get there. Whereas if you buy a second-hand boat that needs a bit of love and care, you can get it at a much lower price. You can get a company like Seatag to come along, do it up, and then for a much less price, you've got, again, a customised boat exactly what you want. So for us, it was a no-brainer.
Fantastic. Let's have a look through the interior then, if we may, and have a look at the layout.
So for me, again, she was very tired when we first got her, and I wanted to get a real flow, because she's not a huge boat, and it's very important that she has a flow all the way through, so that she feels much bigger, she feels luxurious. We changed the shape of all the seating, so it was very dated, it was very square, it was very pointy, and so we rounded everything out to make it much more luxurious. And then the other thing about these 42s, which a lot of people don't know, is that these bottom seats, they come out and they can be stools so that you can put them there. This table will go out to the back, and you can put those stools out the back, so it's really, really flexible. And she's also got a bed that comes out here, so as a boat she has so many different options for us. So again, you can see we've just styled her so that we've got the same colours working all the way through. If you look at the textures that we've used, you can see that the detailing that Seatag have done here is just absolutely superb. And again, even around here on the handrails, they were just the solid metal handrails, and we've pumped them up to make them a bit more luxurious. And again, we've got stitching down here, so the whole boat feels like something very special.
It does make a huge difference, actually. It does feel different.
Yeah, it does. It really does feel different. And I think when people walk into her, they all go, "Oh, is she a new boat?" And we're all going, "No, she's not a new boat, but she has a completely new interior, and she smells like a new boat."
Yeah.
So again, you don't feel like you're getting something that's second-hand, but you know, I can't emphasize enough that you need the right team to get all of this together, and to be able to achieve it in basically 3.5 weeks was really a dream come true.
That's stunning.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
It was stunning.
So if we go on down,
So if we go on down, if we go in to this little cabin here, you'll be able to see that, again, we brought the colour schemes through into this. We did the surrounds of all of the bedding and all of this stuff. We put new mattresses in, so again, she feels very luxurious, she's very comfortable, and you can see the theme running throughout the boat, which again makes it feel bigger and makes it feel more special, I think.
absolutely. So this upholstery here is the same upholstery as the seats are done in the saloon, am I right in saying?
It's very, very similar. Actually,
Right.
It's not exactly the same because we were limited on time. We had to limit. We were limited also on fabrics and textures, so we had to be quite creative with that to be able to achieve what we wanted to achieve. So we put certain fabrics we put in the middle of cushions because otherwise we're going to run out of fabric.
Okay.
So we had to be quite creative, but actually sometimes that works quite well in design, and you get something that's a bit more interesting.
Totally.
So, yeah. So
Totally.
that worked really well.
Fantastic.
It had, for us, we don't like gas particularly in boats. It's just one of our things. So this was very much gas. So we replaced, well, actually both of the oven were gas. So we changed everything to electric. So this is all new. And then we put a new fridge in her as well, which gave us a little bit more space. So again, she feels new to us. And that again, it's just a nice thing to change over, fresh start, and such an easy thing to do as well.
Yeah, and it brightens the whole boat up actually, because of course that's much more modern equipment anyway than what would have been there in the past.
It is, and just, you know, it gives you the flexibility to update silly little things like phone chargers and stuff like that. It's annoying when you've got things on a boat that don't work because they're outdated.
Yeah.
And of course with SeaTag we just had everything updated, so it worked really well.
Fantastic. And can we have a look at the forward cabin?
Yes, absolutely.
Superb, I'll follow you in.
So the forward cabin, again, we stripped completely out and started again really. So we used the same fabric that we've used on some of the cushioning at the back, and then we used some subtly different leathers, and you probably won't be able to see them on the camera, but we've got subtly different leathers going on here, which again just adds to the feeling that it's luxurious and that you know, it's really high end. Which again makes you feel a bit special when you're going on holiday. It's like treating yourself really. So but again, all the colouring flowing into here and just making the whole boat feel a little bit bigger by doing that. I mean, the other thing also that we've done is we haven't changed the things that didn't need to be changed. So you know, if there were things that worked, we kept them, and if they didn't work, then we changed them. So it's not like you have to completely rip a boat out. You basically just rip out the bits that need ripping out, change them, and then the older bits suddenly start to work again.
Yeah,
so
yeah, absolutely.
Good way of doing that.
It's a nice cabin actually. It's got all this light pouring in through the ceiling here.
Yes, lovely.
And there's an ensuite, I think, as well in this,
Yes,
isn't there?
and we've got 2 bathrooms in this boat, which for us is pretty essential. So.
Right. No, fair enough.
So yeah. Well, if you look at the instrumentation, and again, I'm not the technical one here, you can tell, because I'm just talking about the design. But again, it was very rough, it needed redoing, it looked very sad, and so they redid all of these panels for us so that she looks lovely and new. We had bow thruster put on her because there wasn't one, and it was handy, and certainly in this sort of climate, it's handy to have a bow thruster. So
Absolutely.
we had that put on. All of the flooring here here was very, very sad looking, very, very grey, and they redid all of that, and it's come up looking like a brand new boat.
Wow, that's amazing, especially the time scale.
Yes, the time scale is up. And then here, obviously they redid, this table looked terribly sad and we thought we were going to have to replace it, but no, they just brushed it up and it looks fantastic. We lightened the whole boat, it had very dark covering up here, and again it was very sort of dated and it made the boat feel a bit sort of drab. So we just lightened everything up. We put some textures onto here, rather than it just being plain and straight. We had, you know, these little humps put on, and again that just makes it feel a little bit more luxurious.
Yeah, and it's putting a stamp on it a little bit as well, isn't it?
Yes, I think so too, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And then this was horrible. I mean, this was completely shot when we got her, and this has been completely redone. This was, we put leather on it, but it's the same steering wheel, so they have kept what they can keep.
Yep.
And just replaced or uplifted what they needed to.
I think that works well as well, because you don't want to lose the originality of the boat. So you start putting in, it's a bit like a car, you know, if you buy a Porsche, you want a Porsche steering wheel, you don't want some aftermarket steering wheel that looks a little bit sort of out of place. So I think if you can do things like that where you can refurbish what's there, that helps keep that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's important, but you know, there's always this balance of, do you keep it classic and keep it as it was, or do you upgrade it? I think that debate will always go on, and there are certain boats that I think that you can't change, and there are certain boats that actually have a new life because they don't date, the exteriors don't date, the functionality doesn't date. So if you can uplift the interior, then why wouldn't you?
Totally,
Yeah.
Totally get it. That's fantastic. Well, let's go and have a wander back down if we may, and we'll have a chat about your boating life. That would be brilliant.
Sure. There's a wonderful video which does have the before and after. I think it's called Fall in Love with Your Boat All Over Again.
Right.
And it shows this boat, and it shows how it used to be and how it is now, and it is beautiful. It's a good thing to take a look at.
Fantastic.
You can see the difference between the two, which is vast.
Excellent. I will find that and I'll put a link to it in the description, and then if people want to watch it, they can see it.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's worth a look.
Brilliant. And your husband, I think, has escaped.
No,
He's here. Oh, there we
Don't
are.
worry.
Excellent. Shall we go and have a sit back in the inside, and then we can have a chat about what you've done. So tell me first of all, where did boating start for you guys?
Very early.
Same place for both of us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
South of France.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, Helen's boating started in Saint-Tropez. My boating started just outside Cannes. We've both been in boats for since the age of what age for you? 2?
Forever. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We've boated forever, literally.
Uh-huh.
And we're med boaters predominantly.
Yep.
And this is a new beginning for us in a sense, because our main boat is in the Med.
And which boat have you got there?
We've got a Fairline Squadron 10R58.
Like you do.
2012. And we kind of like Fairlines, you might assume.
Yeah, clearly.
But no, that's what we do, and we do it because we enjoy boating. We do it ourselves, so we go everywhere on that boat, and it's kept beautifully. And with COVID, obviously you couldn't visit as much as you would. We've done the River Thames to the end, backwards and forwards about 10 times. So we got rid of our riverboat and bought a boat on the Hamble. That was our project for 2021.
Brilliant. Well,
Go out your comfort zone, learn again.
Yeah, fantastic. So what was the first boat that you guys owned?
I think I owned a boat when I was 12.
Wow, okay.
Because I part exchanged our dog for a Metzler twig.
Well, we've all done it.
Until my mum went mad and brought the dog back, and I had to pay for the twig somehow.
Right.
But that was the first one at boat showrooms in London, and then over the years it's sort of been basically little speedboats and things. The first serious boat was I conned my dad into buying a 50% share with me in a Princess 35.
Oh, I remember those. They were a great boat.
Great boat. You know,
Yeah.
It was between that and a Fairline 36 Turbo. We got brand new. I think it was 19 '87 boat.
Right.
We did all our yacht masters on the Isle of Wight.
Yeah.
That's the first serious boat we actually owned where we could do it ourselves.
Uh-huh.
And the French have a unique way of delivering their boat to you, because this was a company, lovely company, we work with them now, and they just, when the final payment's gone through, they chuck you the rope, both ends,
Yeah.
and they just leave you to float off.
Fastest handover in the world.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
None of this handover show you this, show
No.
you that, none of that.
Figure out as you go.
Yeah. So we've boated ever since on that, and then we sort of slowly graded up.
So where did you keep that boat?
That boat lives, same place always, in a place called Lunapool.
Oh, I know Liverpool's beautiful down
Beautiful, and we've got a beautiful berth.
Yeah.
Initially we rented, and then we bought
Right.
a berth in Port de la Rague,
there. Okay.
which is just, it's literally, it's like 100 metres by water from Lunapool. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's a fabulous port for us, because it's central to everything in France. And we just love it there, because it's, what would you say, 45 minutes from Saint-Tropez?
Yeah.
45 minutes Saint-Tropez. If we go by rib, because we have a rib there as well.
Right.
We can do a fast rib, 20 minutes Saint-Tropez,
Wow.
30 minutes Monaco on a good day, hour if it's rough.
Yeah.
Islands, I think our record's 12 minutes just going for lunch
Wow.
from where we are. So it's a perfect located thing. And then, we just slowly, we're not interested in going big, we're interested in the fun of it.
Right.
And that's for us. It's all about doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love dockings. Helen likes the crewing.
Uh-huh.
We like living at sea. And we just love doing all these different things and bringing friends on and enjoying it with our friends.
So how often do you get down there? I mean, obviously not in the current situation with the COVID and so on. That's kind of made things a bit more difficult. But
Yeah.
prior to that, how often would you get down?
In a normal year, 2019, I think we did about 9 or 10 trips.
Right.
So we fly down. We fly into Cannes,
Yeah.
which has a mini airport there, and we are in a hire car in about 5 minutes, and we're in our boat in 10. So
Fantastic.
15 minutes from Cannes Airport to Port de la Rague. It's fantastic.
Wow.
And obviously you can accelerate the number of trips you make to France doing that, but COVID's put paid to that. So we've gone to learn all over again, because we know we're med boaters and we're pretty awful at English boating.
Right.
And we've got so many things against us: tides, currents, wind,
Rain.
rain. Everything goes against you in this country, which is great, but we're learning a new skill set. And we said on our list, because we do these things, we've set ourselves, we said this year we're going to go out of our comfort zone every day and just do as much boating and learn. And our boating, I think, has exponentially improved, and it will actually have effect on our Mediterranean boating, because we'll go further.
Yeah.
We're going to go now to, probably we'll do Balearics, where we haven't previously.
Right.
We will probably do Sardinia, where we've never done that before. So now, with all the skills and all the courses we've been on, I mean, how many courses we've been on? Loads. And the other thing we do in England, because we're very bad, and we're, as I say, I'm the first person to say we are pretty useless. We hire a skipper to take us round the area.
Right.
And we do it by rib. So we learn all the markers, the cardinals, and we just do it 5 or 6 times to learn it. And then we expand the area.
That's actually really sensible. I've not heard of that being done before. That makes a lot of sense. So basically, you think, okay, we want to learn about this area. You go out with somebody who knows the area.
Yeah.
You learn it with him, and then after that, you've got the confidence to take your boat there, knowing that someone said to you, well, you don't want to go into that area. This area over here is fine.
Yeah.
That actually, honestly, that makes a lot of sense.
So Nick, we sailed our boat to Poole.
Right.
We brought our little brig rib down to Poole.
Uh-huh.
And we hired this lovely gentleman, super ex-Sunseeker employee, who does boat training.
Yep.
And we said, teach us the area in Poole so we don't run aground. Because everywhere, I didn't realise why it's called sandbanks, because it comes up on you so quick.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I was going down this beautiful place called Blood Alley, and apparently I wasn't meant to, because the ground went from 1 metre to about 0.2.
Wow.
And I suddenly realised on my rib we had no draft, so we got the hell out of Dodge. And you learn this, and this guy said, oh, silly move, Jonathan, wouldn't have done that. So he showed us the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And we've learned now, don't do that.
Yeah.
Do this, don't do that. And we're just learning. So our next thing is we're going to come down next year to you,
Right.
near Brixton. We're going to go down, do the Cornwall coast. That's what this boat's for.
Brilliant.
And learn, and probably take someone. We've got actually some wonderful people down there who look after our boat. So they'll probably do the trip with us. and show us how to do it safely so we don't kill ourselves.
Well, there's a certain amount of logic to that. Yeah, I tell you what though, it's a beautiful area, and you might have seen it on some of my videos with my own boat there. When we get the weather right, which you don't have the reliability of the Med. I mean, you can say we're going to the Med in 2 weeks' time and be pretty confident the weather's going to be good. We don't have that. But when we do get the good weather and you're anchored in a bay down there, honestly, you could be anywhere in the world, and it's just beautiful. It's just such a lovely space.
We look at your channel and we see we see your videos, and there are places on our bucket list we want to do, and this is one of them. Brixham, Torquay. We want to go down to Polperro and all these places. And, it's exciting. It's a new world, and that's why we did this. Helen said, look, let's do it. Because there will come a point in your life, as someone said to me, where you won't be as able-bodied as you are now, and you won't be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So we've even planned, in a sense, for that later on down the line, because we don't want to give up boating. We'll just have a bigger boat with crew.
Yeah.
But we want to do it with a smaller boat as long as we can ourselves. So we enjoy it.
That's
we have
fantastic.
Memories. It's amazing.
Well, somebody once said to me, you're better to have memories than dreams.
Yes. Oh, 100%. I love that.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
We'll ask you for that in a minute, because we'll write it on our book.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. So, I mean, normally I talk about future plans, but in all honesty, it sounds like you've got it sussed where you are. I mean, I guess you're not really, other than, as you say, perhaps when you get to the age where you want to have more people looking after you. I guess where you are now with your boating, I mean, most of us have boats and go, I mean, like me, I think I've got this boat now and it's great and I love it, but what I'd really like is this, and then maybe one day I'll have that. I think you guys.
I think we do that too.
Do you?
I think any boater does that, don't they? They get onto a boat, they enjoy it, and then they start thinking about the next one and perhaps something slightly bigger. I think we do that.
Yeah, we've got a love affair with our current boat in the Med.
Right.
We just love it because she's big Katie Lou, and we love her.
Yeah.
Whereas this is Pretty Katie Lou. We call her Pretty Katie Lou because she's baby Katie Lou.
Okay.
And we just love that boat, and it would break our hearts to get rid of her.
Yeah.
But we know that time will come.
Sure.
At some point in the future, money permitting. Please God, everything's all right. We haven't got, whatever the wrong government in. But assuming we can afford it, we've been poring over the Sunseeker 88, the San Lorenzo in front of it, parked over there, just having a look to see what the future holds.
Yeah.
Because we want a boat forever, and I think it's a nice way of looking. And
absolutely.
Even a tiny boat for us, if we can't be afloat or by water, it ruins our life.
Right.
We have to be by water. And I mean, I don't know why I've done it today, but we've just been out testing the Brig 8.
Oh yes.
Because when you say what do you plan, the plan is change our Brig 650 Eagle, which is amazing, to a Brig 8, because it gives you that much more comfort in a rough sea.
Yes.
And round Isle of Wight, it gets rough.
Yes.
So when you're out there, I don't want to shock the dog too bad.
So I'm losing count here slightly because you've got a rib also in the Med.
Yeah.
So
Stinger 8 metre.
Stinger 8 metre in the Med, and your rib in the UK is kept in Poole?
No, that's kept in Hamble Yacht Services.
Okay.
But when we sailed down to Poole with our current boat, not this one, another one, which we're getting rid of now at the moment.
Right.
Basically, we brought the rib. We just towed the rib behind us.
Okay.
And went down and brought it with us.
I see. Now I'm with you. Yeah.
And then we split off. Helen drives the rib into where it was parked.
Yeah.
And I put the boat in the harbour.
Sounds idyllic.
And the rib is great for exploring because it's an exploring boat, and we find that ribs a very cost-effective way of learning the area and not doing damage to your boat.
Yeah.
Also, I think certain seas are just not conducive to taking the big boat out, so you can just hop in the rib and go somewhere where it's maybe a little bit rougher, or it's a little bit windier, and you don't want to take the bigger boat out. Having a rib is fantastic. It means you can boat all the time. You don't go, oh gosh, it's just a bit too windy to take the boat out. You can always hop on the rib and go for it. So it's a good alternative to keep boating all the time.
That's absolutely incredible. And it's true actually, because you do find sometimes, especially on a bigger boat, because you have all your stuff out and this, that, you think, well, we could take the boat out, we've got to get the canopies off, we've got to put that away, we've got to make sure that's tied down, everything else. And sometimes you get to a point where if you've only got half an hour or an hour, hour,
Yeah.
you think, well, do you know what, by the time we've done all that and put it all back, we haven't really got time to go boating. Whereas, as you say, you've got a rib, you can just, I mean, you step on, you turn the key, you go.
Yeah.
We're at Port Hamble. The rib is on a rack 50 yards from Port Hamble, just to the right, Hamble Yacht Services. We just ring them up in the water in 5 seconds, bang, you're out to sea.
Brilliant.
And it keeps the hull clean, doesn't degrade, got full speed, and you just put a pink flag on if you want them to pull it up.
Wow. I think you two are the most enthusiastic boaters I've ever met.
I think mad is the word.
You've got my dream life. I mean, somebody said to me earlier, I was walking around the show and somebody approached me and they said, I love your videos. They said, and I think you've got the dream life. You've got the perfect life. And I thought, yeah, do you know what? I'm not going to argue with that. I think that's right. And I felt like that for about an hour. And then I met you.
No, but I think I said to you, I think you've got the dream.
I think you're right. It was less than an hour. It was you that said it. You're right.
You have actually got the dream life, because I don't think when we do our winter job and our main job, building houses and flats and everything,
Right.
you know, in pouring rain, because I guarantee you, my mother said to me years ago, she said, you're always putting a roof on in pouring rain, winter conditions, foundations getting horrible.
Yeah.
She said, you know, that's what you do, because that's what we do. That's our, you know, it goes round the clock.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fun. We love boats. I can't help it.
You don't need to apologise to me, I promise you.
And to be honest, so many people don't get it, but you know, when you do it, you love boats, and then you look at boats, you think, wow, I love that boat. This is what we both discussed about the Fairline Squadron, this 42. We said we've always loved this boat, and funnily enough, this boat, we checked on its history. We actually know of the history of this boat because it was built the same year as our boat. It went down to the Med the same year as our boat. So we know pretty much the history, because we never buy something without knowing a tiny bit of the history.
Of course.
So it's not killed by the owners. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's good, and I mean we're fans of your channel anyway. You don't need to ask what we do at night.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, that's always pleasing to hear.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. I think we've pretty much covered it. I don't think there's much else to say, but no.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us, because you've fulfilled a dream as well.
Well, you're very kind. You're very kind. Thank you so much for that. And it's always brilliant. I love to show people. I think a lot of people think that people with boats, especially big boats, there's sometimes a feeling with people that they're just owned by people who they've got a lot of money, they think, oh, I'll buy a boat, and they don't understand that actually for a lot of people it's not that. It's absolutely a passion, and I think you guys are the epitome of that.
We still work on a budget, Nick, like everybody. You know, we're not here to buy the newest, shiniest, you know, box of tricks.
Yeah.
Because it's got to make financial sense as well.
Yeah.
And we're not here to keep buying it, selling it, losing loads of money. You know, you try and keep your money so it's invested in it and it's not losing too much. And that's why this boat was made perfect sense, because it was a financially viable thing. I mean, even the ribs, we don't lose money on those. We always generally buy a rib and we make a profit on it.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, buy a used one, 2 years old, 3 years old, knock it out.
Yeah.
So it's done on a budget. We're on a budget like everybody. And it's just some people have different budgets, as you're saying. You know, some people have 80-metre budgets. We don't. We have a much smaller budget, but it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is the important thing. I think don't lose that. And sometimes when you get to the bigger boats, I think some of that joy that you get from a small boat gets lost, including with you guys.
Yeah.
It's never going anywhere, is
I
it?
briefly went really big many years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years ago, and we went full crew, horrible experience, and it was the worst experience of my life.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually, Nick.
What size boat was that?
Sunseeker, big one, over 100. And to be honest, it was going to be chartered and whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just a whole mishmash of problems. It was a lovely boat.
Yeah.
But it's just the owner that couldn't get his head around it.
Right.
And I just looked at it, because I actually brought it back. It was used from Croatia.
Okay.
With the delivery captain. It was a lovely trip, that. And I looked on the dock at that boat. I thought, you have made the biggest mistake of your life.
Really?
And I immediately phoned the broker. I said, could you please get rid of it? And he said, it's going to take a long time. So eventually, 9 months later, thank God, I got out of it. But I looked at the dock next to me, you know, a few boats down on the dock. There was a beautiful Fairline Targa 52. And I was on my boat and it kept coming in and going out. I saw this Targa 52 and I thought, that is the perfect boat because you've got it all, and I must have that Targa 52. So for me, big is not better.
No.
Big is a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
Because the captain wants to be your best mate, the crew want to be your best friends, and you know, you get phone calls, distractions from work. It's better to do it this way, much, much nicer.
Be in control.
You are in control, and we control when we go, when we come, how we do it, and also we've got a fabulous guardianage team around us who look after the boats and keep them in perfect nick. And we're excited. Every day is exciting.
That's brilliant. You've nailed it. You've won at life. Well, that's brilliant. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Nick.
It's been a real pleasure. So there we go. Let me know what you think of that one. I think it's brilliant to do these Meet the Owners and meet people who are passionate about boating, because there's a few of us out there, to say the least. So if you fancy doing it sometime, get in touch, give me a shout, as these guys did, and hopefully we'll bring you a few more of these going forward. And thank you again, guys, and we'll catch you on another one of these very soon. Cheers. Bye bye.